Alright, what's up guys? This is Rugus808. This is going to be the deck profile for my Bermuda Triangles, calling it Committing Sudoku. So in the deck, the main goal is to deck yourself out. You're not made to win. It's kind of a fun, gimmicky sort of deck. The way that I have it built here is not going to be the cheapest. So my deck in real life, some of the cards are proxied. Since, yeah, again, the deck's never really made to win. It's, you can make it more competitive, but then you just make it to the default Aquaforce, or default Bermuda deck, which is, you know, it's good and everything, but this is kind of different. You know, if you're enjoying different, then here you go. So the deck profile here, there's 16 draw triggers. Yeah, so we're gonna make sure we cycle through our deck very quickly, which is also the goal of the deck, is to deck ourselves out. So there's 16 draw triggers. Our starting Vanguard is Darling. I forget her entire name, but it's usually the starting Vanguard that the Bermuda decks use. So there's one starting Vanguard, Darling, and 3 in main deck. So a total of 4 of Darling. That's to ensure that we can use Peace and Thames effectively and draw through our deck very quickly. So we're also running 3 Karen. Karen's just a replacement just in case we need to use her. She's pretty garbage, not gonna lie. We're also running 3 of the Perfect Guards, because Perfect Guards, might as well just throw them in, make sure we don't die. Make sure we don't die from our opponent attacking us and not having enough guard. Since our goal of the deck is to deck ourselves out on our turn to make sure that our opponent doesn't really win. In a sense, I mean, it's kind of complicated. So we're also running, of course, 4 of Peace, because Peace, she's amazing. When she goes from field to hand, you counterblast 1, draw a card, reveal 3 Peace from your hand, and if there's 3 Peace revealed, you uncounterblast. So, if you have 3 Peace in hand, free card draw. There's also going to be 4 of Myrtoa? Yeah, Myrtoa, which is when you play it onto Rearguard or Vanguard, you and your opponent may draw a card. It's optional, and your opponent draws a card. She's not the best card outside of this deck. You can also argue she's a pretty garbage card, because your opponent also draws a card. But, for this deck, we're not going to care if our opponent draws. So what? Most of the time, we're going to have all the cards in our hand, and then when we start playing cards out of our hand, it's going to be pretty much on the turn that we kill ourselves. So, it doesn't matter. So on to the grade 2s, we have 3 of Slaney, which is when she gets called onto Rearguard, you counterblast 1, select a Rearguard, bounce it to your hand. It's very effective with Myrtoa, since you can just replay her again for just no counterblast. Also very effective, again, with comboed with Peace, although you do technically, we're using Slaney, you use 1 counterblast, and if you're not careful, this deck does burn through counterblast very easily. Slaney can also be comboed with Karen, which is probably not your ideal situation, but if you need to do so, hey, you know, free counterblast, or free card draw for counterblast 1, and for Karen's case, Soul Blast 1 as well. We're also running 4 of Rhone's, I believe her name was, which is on Vanguard or Rearguard. When her attack hits, you counterblast 1, bounce a Rearguard to hand, search your deck for another copy of that bounced card, and put that copy into your hand. Kind of great for early game if you ride into her and have a Thames or a Peace in hand, since you can just bounce that into your hand, search out another copy, and boom, you got 2 copies at least. And then last of the grade 2s, we have 4 of Thames, she's the grade 1 version of Peace. She's an 8k, so that's why most people have never really seen her out of pretty much going to be this deck, and probably more gimmicky, like I threw this together really quickly sort of decks. So yeah, and then onto the grade 3s. We're running 6 of them, mainly because you can pretty much run 8 grade 3s, so 4 of Iori, 4 of Break Ride, but personally, trying to get the 2 Break Rides and pretty much all the cards for this game, since I don't play it as much, was really a chore, honestly. I forgot how painful it is in this game to get packs and cards and everything, and it was terrible. Anyway, on the grade 3s, we have 2 Break Rides, because if we need to Break Ride into Iori, then, you know, hey, that's going to be even more card draw. It's great. And then also we have 4 Iori. She is the main star of the deck. She is fantastic. So her ability is you Persona Blast and Soul Blast 1 to select a rear guard, bounce it to your hand, search for your deck of 2 copies of the bounce card, and put it into your hand. So you can make your hand go from 1 piece and 1 Iori into 3 piece, and draw 3 cards if you still have the starting Vanguard out on the main deck, or on the field. So, Iori, pretty much the entire deck revolves just around Iori. You pretty much need her. Most games, it just comes down to on Limit Break 4, which I forgot to mention, that's her beginning of text, Limit Break 4. If you're on Limit Break 4, whether or not you have the Persona Blast. Because if you don't, then you pretty much just kind of fizzled out on your on the goal. Yeah, so that's pretty much the deck. Not really too special. In this description, I'll have the written deck profile, and then also in there, and as well as on the annotation, I'll have a link to this deck in action and how it plays and everything. And if you're just coming from that video, then hey, you can rewatch it if you want to. It's 21 minutes long. I'm not stopping you. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the deck. If you have any questions, want to tell me this deck is garbage and that it's really useless to build the deck, you're welcome to let me know in the comments. Until then, you know, I'll see you guys next time. Alright, see ya.